Hello and welcome to my top 10 games of 2020. Now, despite 2020 being gaming was still good, gaming was strong. Now, before I start, I've got a few honourable mentions that I do want to mention, because they're called honourable mentions. And they are as follows. We've got a really good episodic game in Tell Me Why by Don't Nod. We've got Ghost of Tsushima, a beautiful open world adventure by Sucker Punch. We've got Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 Remake, a fantastic re-envisioning by Vicarious Visions. Animal Crossing New Horizons, a game I think pretty much all of us sank into during the start of 2020. We've got Resident Evil 3 Remake, a fun action/horror game by Capcom. Call of the Sea, a fantastic indie puzzle game by Out of the Blue Games. And finally, the reimagining of Harvest Moon Friends of Mineral Town on the Nintendo Switch as well. Those 7 games are definitely still worth checking out. And now for the top 10. As always, these are done in one breath because that's my shtick. At number 10, it's Astros Playroom. Not only is Astros Playroom a wonderful introduction to what the DualSense controller can do, but it's also a really fun puzzle game, action game, platformer game in its own right, with very heartwarming, nostalgic PlayStation moments intertwined in, fun gameplay, intuitive gameplay, unique gameplay, and its only downside is it kind of feels like a vertical slice of what can be, and it's worth playing anyway. It's free. At number 9, it's Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
The Saxons hunger for Norse blood.
Valhalla is a grand, deep RPG game that kind of takes the best of the old Assassin's Creed and the new open world ones and merges them together in a game that is very fun and has a very solid gameplay loop, albeit a bit repetitive, but unfortunately the end of the game kind of just doesn't feel like it deserves the ending it has. It kind of like, I didn't even realize it ended. It's meh. That's probably the worst one sentence I've given in one of these things ever.
I do not fear these men.
At number 8, it's Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Every time I think I got this Spider-Man thing figured out, something goes wrong.
Miles Morales has an incredibly deep, heartwarming, touching story that I genuinely cared for and rooted for Miles, and I do think the story as a whole was better than the first game. However, it does feel like a kind of a copy and paste job for the most part, and the gameplay loop feels the exact same, and it's not as big and grand. It doesn't really explore much more than what the first game did in terms of the world itself. These one sentences are getting me today.
You're Spider-Man. You can fix this. Your way.
At number 7, it's Fall Guys. Fall Guys is an incredibly fun and brilliant battle royale game with a unique and engaging dynamic that is quick and simple to learn, and you kind of get used to the gameplay loop, and it's very addictive to play. It's unfortunately got some questionable decisions. Some maps aren't as good as others, but as they grow the game and add in more stuff, it still becomes playable. At number 6, it's Wasteland 3.
The 3 children of our patriarch are even more ruthless than he is.
Wasteland 3 is an outstanding tactical RPG game with such rich lore, such well-written characters, such a great world to explore and get stuck into and get lost in. It legit only falters on bugs and performance issues for the most part. The game itself is an incredibly long and deep RPG experience. Worth a play. Yeah, that's a good game. It's a good game. Now we get to the top 5, which I think are games that are pretty much faultless, and we start that with Demon's Souls. Incredible combat, deep RPG mechanics, solid world design, and a truly challenging but captivating experience rise to the top of a game that is definitely worth playing. Probably the best game on PlayStation 5 right now. That is only kind of let down by some irritating AI issues, but other than that, it is outstanding. At number 4, it's Hades. A truly phenomenal action game that it never gets boring to play, with characters and story in a world that is so engrossing, so well written, so captivating, so driving forward, and the roguelike experience only enhances it so much that the only actual flaw is once you find a good rhythm and bubble, you kind of don't need to go out of it, but other than that, apparently.
I'm home. Well, time to go get killed again.
At number 3 is Ori and the Will of the Wisps. A beautiful, emotional, captivating, outright stunning 2D action platformer that builds on the basis of the original and expands the lore so much in the great RPG mechanic system, Metroidvania expansion and all, and it's just such a good game and so beautiful. You should play it. At number 2, it's Final Fantasy VII Remake.
These sewer rats appear to call themselves Avalanche, sir.
A masterful JRPG that is thrilling to play with incredible combat, perfect music, a simple but effective upgrade mechanic, and moments that just blow you away so much, and it sticks the ending surprisingly, and it's one of the best games of the year and one of the best Final Fantasies made. Personally. That last word was personally. I couldn't get it. I had no air.
Got you now. Huh?
And my 2020 game of the year is The Last of Us Part 2.
Get off me! Please stop.
Last of Us Part 2 is an outstanding gaming achievement, and the gameplay loop, the mechanics, the systems, the story, the characters, the world, the design, the arts put into it is so perfect to the point where by the end of the experience you're hollow but worth it, and you're emotional but had fun, and altogether the game is just phenomenal. I really wanted to give that one more credit, but I don't have air.
You can't stop this.
So that's it, that is my top 10 games of 2020. I'm sure your list will be different, so please let me know what you think Game of the Year is, what you think shouldn't have made it in that list. Always up for a discussion, always up for gaming, and hey, aren't video games awesome? Till next time.